The babysitter mentioned a stranger, so I bought a hidden camera. What I found ruined my life. I, 34M, never thought a casual conversation with our teenage babysitter would unravel the life I thought I had. I've been married to my wife, Tessa, 32F, for almost 9 years. We have a 4-year-old daughter, and on the surface, everything seemed stable. Not perfect, but good. She works part-time at a boutique about 25 minutes away, while I work in it. Until recently, I was fully remote, but a few weeks ago, my company transitioned me to a hybrid schedule, requiring me to be in the office several days a week. Because of that shift, and with Tessa's hours overlapping mine, we hired a babysitter, Sophie, 17, to help on weekday afternoons. Last month, I was driving Sophie home after her shift. We were making small talk when she casually asked, "Hey, is that guy your wife's brother?" I blinked. "What guy?" She looked confused. "Oh, he came by a few times while you were working. I just assumed he was family or something. He seemed close. Tall, dark jacket, sunglasses. He drives that black Range Rover." My stomach dropped. I tried to keep my voice steady. "When did he come by?" Sophie shrugged. "Like, a few weeks ago. I think twice." I didn't really pay attention. That night, I couldn't sleep. I tried to tell myself it was nothing. But Sophie wouldn't have made that up, and Tessa never mentioned anyone coming by. The next day, I checked our doorbell camera, nothing. She'd started parking in the back a few months ago, to avoid blocking the mailbox. Now I had a sick feeling in my gut about that too. I didn't confront her. Not yet. Instead, I bought a set of discrete security cameras and installed them while she was at work, one facing the backyard, one by the garage, and a motion cam above the living room bookshelf, disguised as an air freshener. That same week, I told her I was working on site at a client's office 3 days a week. In reality, I rented a co-working space nearby but was monitoring the house from my phone. What I saw broke something in me. Day 2 of working off-site, at around 12:40 p.m., her car pulled into the garage. 6 minutes later, the black Range Rover showed up. A man stepped out, tall, late 30s, beard, leather jacket. She met him at the door. They kissed like teenagers. He walked in. The living room cam caught everything, him pushing her up against the wall, her laughing, unzipping his coat. I paused the stream. I couldn't breathe. I didn't want to believe it. But I let it play. For the next 40 minutes, I watched my wife of nearly a decade, the mother of my child, with a man I didn't know. Except I did know him. Eventually. 3 days later, I found him, Marcus. Her ex-boyfriend from her early 20s. I remembered the name now. He'd been abusive. Controlling. She had opened up about it once years ago, about how she barely escaped. I even remembered comforting her when she cried about how scared she'd once been. And now he was back, in our home. In my bed. I confronted her that Friday night after our daughter went to sleep. I didn't yell. I didn't lose it. I just played the video. She didn't even try to deny it. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she said. He reached out. I thought I'd changed. But when I saw him, I stopped listening after that. I think I went numb. She cried. She begged. Told me she still loved me. That she felt trapped in motherhood and missed the excitement. I told her I wanted a divorce. Her tears stopped almost immediately. Like someone flipped a switch. "You'd break up our family over one mistake," she spat. "Grow up." That was 2 weeks ago. She's staying with her sister. I've filed for divorce. I've already spoken with a lawyer and I'm filing for full custody, based on the video evidence and the fact that she brought someone dangerous into our home. Sophie doesn't know what she accidentally revealed, but I gave her a generous tip and let her know we wouldn't be needing her for a while. I told her it wasn't her fault, and it wasn't. Tessa has already posted on Facebook about losing everything to a man who valued surveillance over communication. Her mom called me a controlling psycho. I just sent the video to her inbox and blocked the number. I'm not okay. Not yet. But I'm not broken either. I'll rebuild, for my daughter. And I'll never ignore my gut again. TLDR. Babysitter casually mentioned a man visiting my wife during work hours. I installed hidden cameras, discovered she was cheating with an abusive ex she once claimed to fear. After confronting her, I filed for divorce and custody. Now I'm moving on for my daughter's sake. I disguised myself as a delivery driver to catch my long-distance girlfriend cheating. My girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, now, was named Claire, 26F. We'd been doing long distance for about a year. She lived in Denver for her grad program, and I stayed back in Austin for work. We met in college, had 2 great years living in the same city, and then she got into this prestigious program. We agreed to make it work. At first, it was okay. We texted constantly, FaceTimed nearly every night. But about 4 months in, I noticed things started to shift. She started replying less. Video calls got harder to schedule, because she was so busy. She stopped saying, "I love you," unless I said it first. Worst of all, she suddenly became very protective of her weekends. Before, I'd fly out once or twice a month. But now it was, "This weekend isn't good," or, "I already have plans with classmates." I tried not to jump to conclusions. Grad school is intense. People change. But there was one conversation that stuck with me. A few months ago, I asked if she'd want to spend Thanksgiving with my family. She got weirdly cagey and said she might already have plans. With who? She didn't say. Red flag. I started feeling like something was off, really off. But I didn't want to accuse her without proof. Enter my friend Jake. He works for a local courier company that partners with national delivery chains. They handle things like flowers, meds, and time-sensitive packages. One night over beers, I was venting, and half-jokingly said, "I wish I could just show up at her place and see what she's up to." Jake laughed, then paused. "You know, I could get you on a shift." I thought he was joking. He wasn't. He explained that the local hub lets them assign temp drivers for certain busy routes. He had a connection in Denver who owed him a favor. I sat on the idea for a few days. Then Claire canceled another weekend visit with a lame excuse, and I snapped. I called Jake and said, "Let's do it." He made the arrangements. I paid for my flight. The Denver guy lent me a uniform and a van for the day. All I had to do was show up, look like I belonged, and deliver a few dummy boxes around the neighborhood, including one for Claire's building. I was nervous as hell. I felt crazy. But I had to know. When I got to Claire's apartment building, my heart was in my throat. I buzzed in with a fake delivery slip and waited for the door to open. And then I saw it. Through the glass entrance, at the end of the hallway, her apartment door was open. Claire stood in the doorway, wrapped in a towel, laughing. A guy, tall, bearded, shirtless, came up behind her, kissed her on the neck, and smacked her on the butt before walking inside. She giggled and followed him. I just stood there. Paralyzed. I could have dropped the box and run, but instead I knocked on the door. Not hers, just the main entrance. She looked toward me, squinted, and tilted her head like she was trying to place me. She walked over, still in her towel, and opened the door. I stared at her. She froze. "Chris." "Special delivery," I said, holding the box between us. She looked like she'd been hit by a truck. She stammered. What are you doing here?" "Working," I said, still in uniform. "You didn't have plans this weekend, remember?" She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. I didn't yell. I didn't cause a scene. I just handed her the box, turned around, and walked out. Jake picked me up an hour later. I didn't even finish the route. Claire called. Texted. Left voicemails. All kinds of excuses. It wasn't what it looked like. We're just friends. He's just staying over. I never responded. That was 6 months ago. Haven't spoken to her since. It hurt. A lot. But the disguise, the plan, the delivery, gave me the one thing I didn't have before, clarity. TLDR. Long-distance girlfriend started acting weird. Got suspicious. Used my friend's job at a delivery company to get a temp shift in her city and deliver a package to her apartment. Caught her in a towel with another guy. Disguised as a delivery driver, I exposed her cheating. Walked away and never looked back.